This is our weekly Q&A on BIM, which is called BIMly, an initiative that I've started under Beyond BIM, which is powered by Arcline, where I get to answer some of your questions and to have discussion about BIM and construction technology in AC industry. And I'm very excited today. We have a bunch of folks jumping in and tuning in. Thank you. I got a couple of minutes delayed. I was just rushing from a doctor's appointment. See, shifting in India is not that being easy, now we have so many responsibilities that I have to run around. So I was just kind of rushing into that. But as I promised, I'll be here live every Thursday to answer your questions or have discussion on BIM and related topics. So I'm here again. Standard procedure for these calls, feel free to raise your hand if you have a questions or you just want to come on stage and talk and have a discussion. Feel free to raise your hand and I will allow you guys to come on stage and answer any of your questions. So we're starting, we have 30 minutes to go. So anybody in the call, please go ahead and start asking your questions, start raising your hands, and I would be happy to answer those. I see we got 26 people so far, which is a great turnaround. It's 9 p.m. so in India, and I know there are people are tuning in from different time zones in different countries. So again, thank you for jumping on and tuning in to listen to me and whatever worth of knowledge that I have to share. So anybody on the call, please raise your hand and I'll get you guys on to the stage to have this discussion. Let's see who will be our first questions. Alright, we got 28 people. I think within 28 people there should be a bunch of questions or comment or concern, right? Again, this is more of an initiative to build a community. I'm trying to build a BIM community where we all come together and share our experiences and our knowledge and kind of go hands in hand, where like if somebody is an expert in industry and have gained some experience, now it's our responsibility to pass that along and share those knowledge with upcoming people or even people who are getting started in BIM. So I want to have that. Any questions so far? Please feel free to raise your hand and I would love to get you guys on stage and answer those questions. Meanwhile, you guys are getting ready with your questions. There was a great discussion I had just 30 minutes ago on a project that we're working on currently, which is Universal has a project that we've been participating for almost like a year or so now, and this is their biggest theme park in Universal Orlando, and they just released their YouTube promotional video out. So on my channel, you would be seeing that video coming out soon. So stay tuned for that as well. I think it's going to be very epic in terms of like the work we did as well as the project itself. So okay, we have Jyotika on call again. So let me allow you to speak. I think we had a conversation last week as well. So how have you been, Jyotika?
Hello. Yes. Yeah, we have been in I have been in the last session also.
Yes. How are you?
The session was very informative and I had many queries and which got actually cleared.
Nice, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to know, can we discuss about the BIM courses, which will enhance in the process?
What are the BIM courses available? You're asking, right?
Yeah, to sharpen our the skills. We are practicing on the daily basis on projects. Except that what courses will benefit in the upcoming part.
Definitely, yeah. That's a great question as well. That what are some of the courses online you can go and take which will help you to enhance your skills within BIM and AC industry. So to be very honest, I've been away from the learning journey because I myself have been working hard on projects and getting the team ready and all that. So I was not watching what contents out there that you can go. But I think there are a couple of companies that you can go out. I think there's one called Novitar who recently just came in my touch. I think they, if you're in India, they do a whole academic course on BIM. They provide certification courses. So that's one platform that you can go and check out. It's all online and they have a great number of trainers available there. So Novitar, I feel, is like one of them that I remember. Apart from that, I think you can also learn a lot of things from Udemy. I don't know if you guys are aware of Udemy or some of these e-learning platforms. Udemy is something that I've been subscribed and I've been learning many different things, but I've found a lot of great BIM courses there as well. You know, there were many great courses about Revit, about other 3D softwares that were there out there. So you guys can definitely check out Udemy. I think with the educational, they do provide free licenses. Otherwise, you do have to pay for it. So just make sure that you do your research. But apart from that, to be very honest, Joshika, I'm not aware of a lot of courses that are out there because I've not been looking for that so far. But yeah, these are a couple of them that I have. Again, we have a couple people jumping in. Raj, so let me allow you to speak, Raj, and you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi, Raj.
Yeah. Hi. Actually, regarding the BIM, I do have probably one or two major questions.
Sure.
Let's say I have been in BIM industry since more than 3.5 to 4 years.
Okay.
And currently I'm working as a BIM coordinator. Okay. So basically my question is, when I'm looking for a new opportunity or a new role, like consulting role, like how can we use the cloud products to implement our like construction project and everything, like something new. But when it comes to a company, like they are always looking for a modeling role, like if you have a 5 to 6 years of experience and somebody from the higher management will ask you like basic Revit questions and you are not aware of them, you will straight away disqualified. Like I have been going through one or two MNCs in that case, and they are looking for more technical person who has a knowledge of everything, like mechanical and everything. Like basically, in that case, I want to give you one example. I'll just take 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
In that case, like I have been asked like mechanical question. In that question is like there is a clash in between like fire pipe and HVAC pipe. Now, how you will modify and which services you will going to be modified? So my answer was like, I am not the responsible person to modify anything. My responsibility is to rise the clash, to rise the RFI.
Yes.
That is my job. But I straight away I got disqualified with this answer. So my basic question is like, how should move to the managing role or coordinating role for?
Yeah, no, I think again that's a great question. That a lot of time people ask for like all the qualities in one person. You know, like especially when you start getting into the higher roles, like the BIM manager positions or even higher than that. So company wants that you should have knowledge of all the trades. You know, like MEP, structure, architecture. Because then you would have to define certain roles for other people underneath you. So they ask these questions because of that. And I know from my experience as well that when we're looking for a higher managerial role, we tend to seek for these situations as well. But you're completely right on your point where what solution to provide, that's not in your head, especially if you're an outsourcing company who are just there to raise these clashes and raise the queries, and whoever's the client, they need to provide the solution. Whoever's the designer, they need to provide that solution, right? As a BIM oriented, we are not like providing the solution, but at the same point, we need to have a solution ready. So what I'm saying in this sense is like, even though you're not providing a whole complete solution of what the clash should be and how it is, the people, like even the client, would love to have at least some resolution attached with your queries or your conflicts, that what they can do out of it. And if you don't have knowledge of it, then you can start educating yourself. You can start getting into learning process. Like the previous question, Jyotika asked, like how can we improve our skills? You can start taking some of the courses. You can start engaging yourself into other communities who teaches about these different techniques. So that way you can start expanding your skill sets, and then that would help you to gain that knowledge to reach to that next step and next level.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And I have another question. Like implementing BIM is a completely different role from the like coordinator or from manager role, like BIM manager role. So if I like somebody wants to move towards the consulting role, like implementing the BIM, like what are the softwares and what is the how it is beneficial for project, like, then how should we move?
So you want to be more like a technology implementator rather than just doing the modeling side, right? So in that case, then you need to find a specific niche on what technology you're going after. There is plethora of technology available within AEC now. You can go into photogrammetry with drones, you can go into 3D scanning services, you can go into 360 camera, whatever it is. There's so much technology services, but again, you have to pick one niche to start with. You cannot just say that I want to be a master of all of this. These individual technologies within itself are becoming greater. And let's talk about BIM implementation itself. Then yes, you can hold that okay, you want to be providing those what you call the BXPs, the execution plans, and set up the right standards. Those then definitely could be a consultant job that you can get into it. But again, you have to specialize into it. You cannot be just a modeler and then start saying that I want to specialize into other field. You have to spend some time, at least I would say more than 5 or 8 years experience to call yourself into that role where you can specialize in one field, and then you can say start getting your consultancy services out there. So hope that covers a little bit of it. I need to have Ujjwal raising his hand, so let me ask a question with Ujjwal, Raj.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ujjwal, if you can unmute yourself and you can start talking.
Yes, hi. So yes, it's not a question, it's a continuation to the solution for what question was raised earlier.
Yes, please.
I believe that the BIM coordinator role is a kind of dynamic role in the industry, that a client would ask you for a solution, and at the first moment, because you are a single point of contact of a client might be, and then you would go to designer. But if a BIM coordinator has to provide a solution, he might needs to have an extensive experience of providing a solution rather than just. We cannot deny in a particular position that we do not have a solution, but yeah, we need to have a dynamic approach towards the coordination process, because it's the biggest one why we are implementing BIM.
Exactly.
So I think that's the key thing, that we cannot restrict ourselves to one singular domain, that we belong to a civil industry or a mechanical industry. We need to have some sort of knowledge from other domains as well. Then I think that similar kind of knowledge would pave us into managerial roles, I believe.
Exactly.
So I think gaining the experience and then moving into the managerial roles would be a greater path.
Definitely, I think well put, Ujjwal. I think you're right on that part, where at least a coordinator needs to have all knowledge of all different trades, And I've noticed, like, a lot of time on the coordination calls, it's good to have somebody from the field experience as well. A lot of time they do coordination where you have field superintendent involved as well, who knows how to execute this, right? Because as a BIM person, we are more on theoretical side. The practical knowledge comes when you have field experience. So a coordination comes very handy when you have a field guy who can provide quick solutions that, okay, this can be done in field. And most of the time that happens. You have a field superintendent with you who can support you. But yes, you need to have knowledge to at least put those solutions together. So well put.
Yes.
Thank you, Ujjwal.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I have Anwar raising his hand. Let me allow him to speak. And Anwar, please go ahead.
Hey, hi, Linda. Nice to see you.
Hi Anwar.
Yeah, so my question is not like any technical. I'm in the BIM industry for like 2 years now, and I get acquainted with some people or like clients who give me some small projects to work on.
Okay.
But I'm also a full-time, like a person who is doing a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on how to build your brand, or how to start freelancing or getting clients? Like about all that stuff, like how to handle my job and freelancing at the same time.
Yeah, the first advice would be that don't let your company know that you're doing freelancing on the side, you know. I'm just joking. I mean, I think most of the time that company won't like it, that if you are doing a side gig and not, because then that raises an eyebrow where people might think that you're spending your company time and company resource to do an outside job, you know, and earn an extra income. There's nothing wrong to earn an extra income. I think this is phenomenal that you're taking lead in it and you want to build yourself as a brand and establish yourself so that you can provide your own consultancy services down the line. I think that's commendable. A lot of people don't think about it, you know. But again, be careful in terms of like when you're in a job, your responsibility is to fulfill what is in the job first, and then take your extra time to build yourself. Now, when it comes to the branding side of it, yes, again, that comes with exposure, right? So it's a double-edged sword that if you want to go on your own and still have to do a job, you cannot just out openly promote yourself, because otherwise then everybody would know, right? That hey, this guy is also doing on site, and it's the same field of work, right? It's not a separate field. Like, okay, if you were a BIM guy and on the side you were a cook, then it would be separate, you know. But now you're in a company providing BIM services. On the same side, you're also providing your own consultancy services. That's a gray area that you're walking into it. So be careful in terms of that. But as far as like doing your own branding, I think everybody of us needs to hear this. Like especially in our day and age where we are, personal branding is really important. And I got to learn this by like a hard reality after a while. You know, I didn't work on my personal branding because again, I was in a corporate job for almost like 10 years, and I never thought that I would open my own business, you know. So I never considered to be creating my own branding or go on LinkedIn and start posting more often, you know. But I was wrong in that sense. Now I realize that how important was that if I would have started maybe on the first day when I joined the job, it doesn't need to be promoting your own stuff, but you can promote within your company what you're doing, you know. I think company would be okay with that, as well as you can start building a community on the side where you would can promote yourself as a brand and say that you have that knowledge base, you know. The most important is the company or the client look for is your knowledge base, that you have whatever they're looking for, then you can provide. And it takes time. Like personal branding, to be very honest, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes almost 5 years, I would say, to build yourself in a solid brand. Some might go quicker, but I'm noticing myself that it's taking time. And then you have to put effort, you know, you have to build communities, build effort, and then you can grow into that role. So I hope I answered your question, Anwar.
Yeah, sure. About that thing, it doesn't affect my full-time job because, you know, that's my first priority. So that's where my question came. So, like, should I leave my job and start full-time as a freelancer, or like that was?
I would say. So how many years of experience you have so far, Anwar?
Around 2.
2 years, right? So I feel like right now you're still in that initial phase to be able to go and go on yourself, you know. I feel like within a company what you can get is more experience. So at least you should spend a couple more years to get more experience, and then when you feel that you're ready, I think it will be a calling that you would hear within yourself and you should take that step. But I would say gain more experience first before you go on your own, because when you're in a company, the company is working to get projects, they have resources to get you work and get you experience. When you're on own, you have to figure all that stuff out. So while you're in that role, get more experience, and then you can switch on to your full time. Oh, by the way, I have Gary here. Let me allow you on the stage. What a surprise. I have a friend who is joining here. Hi, Gary. Grady, how are you? I think you can unmute yourself, Grady. I know this LinkedIn audio is kind of weird setup. So hope you find that unmute button somewhere. I think it's down on your screen. Nope, still having trouble. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear now. Perfect. How are you?
Thanks, guys. Hey, so you guys were talking about branding and going freelancing, and Ani and I worked together a number of years ago at the same company, and I've watched him grow. I'm on the client side, so I'm kind of the group that can potentially hire guys like you and your firms. But something on branding, and I hope this comes across right. Ani built a brand, whether he knew it or not, by being the person in his day job that was always learning, always pushing forward, doing crazy things, like really pushing the boundaries. And as an example, while he was doing BIM for structures, he was also working with 3D printers on small scales to help illustrate what was going on in the projects. And he, in his day job, he built himself a brand, and not purposely, but he built himself a brand as being an expert that people relied on because he was always willing to go find the next level. And I think that's how it translated for him so well, from going from a BIM designer to leading a department division to now owning his own corporation. And so think about that time he's talking about, and the time it takes, to build this up. There's a lot you can do in that, what we would call like the slow period of your career, where it's like you're trying to do two things at once. There's a lot you can do there to continue to grow and really establish yourself as being a person that people turn to and say, hey, how do I do this? Or this isn't working, what are your thoughts here? Again, Ani was a resource within the largest concrete company in the United States, where everybody turned to him and said, hey, how do I do this? And that's part of the brand experience, right? It's the fact that Ani as a brand is the guy that I know no matter what, when it comes to this information, if I give him a call or I send him an email and say, hey, this is what we're looking for, not only him, but he's got a network of people that can assist him to provide answers. And that's really what clients are looking for. It doesn't have to be one person that does everything. It's that you guys work together as a network. If you guys are, if two small companies band together to do a big job, that's not a problem for a client. What they're looking for is they want a resource that has more resources. And so really think about that as you guys build your brand and network with each other, because to me, that's the strength. The strength is in numbers. And that's all I want to say. And Ani, love you, man. I'm so happy to see what you're doing, bud.
Man, this is awesome. This is great. I mean, Grady, this is such a huge surprise that you jumped on. And again, thank you for the kind word. I think you went a little bit extra on it, but I think we share kind of the same values, like where we came from. And I know personally from my experience, like you yourself is also building a huge brand, and I've seen your journey throughout, And another important point that I like about what you do, Grady, is like, I think when you were in like the concrete, the 3D printing side, you were not hating your competitors. You were actually like going and liking them and learning a lot from them, So it's more kind of a community that you were supporting, and rather than fighting with them, And that's where the resource building comes together. So great advice, Grady. I'm a huge fan of you, and then appreciate you jumping on and sharing your wealth of knowledge.
Oh, you're welcome. And I want to reiterate that, guys, you're not in competition with each other. You're in competition with an industry and market that doesn't understand the value you bring.
Exactly. Very well
And
said,
so
sir.
the more you work together, the stronger it will be. And you guys will all be leaders because you're early adopters. You're going to push through this. So work together. I love my competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they do. They make me better. They teach me every day. So focus on that. Work with them. Be supportive of each other. All right. I'll jump off on you and listen in, but thank you.
No,
so
this
much.
is great, Grady. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. You're welcome. Take care, guys.
Awesome. That was a huge surprise. I have Ujjwal raising hand. Ujjwal, if you want to.
Yes. So I have one question. So we
Yes.
typically talk a lot good things about BIM. What are the advantages we have over the conventional methods of construction in production and as well as manufacturing? So what are the challenges you faced in your the whole BIM career in implementing BIM? We know the good things, but we would like also like to understand, what are the key challenges you faced, and if any solutions you thought would have been good to solve those challenges.
Okay, so the biggest challenge that comes in my mind throughout my career was actually not a software or a new technology or learning something new. That was easy to me, that was easy for everybody. The biggest challenge is
I hope it wasn't mindset or thinking of people.
Exactly. I mean, you're right. Like, it's not even mindset. I feel like it's more the education about this thing. Like, a lot of people are not aware about it. Like, when I started my career at Baker, and I was going out in the field and telling people that, hey, we have this thing called BIM and it can do wonderful stuff, and then they totally misunderstood me. There was another department called BEAM, so they were like, oh, you from BIM, which handles equipment. I'm like, no, this is BIM. So they didn't even knew what the term was, right? And this is, I'm talking back in 2013-14 when I started the career. But I realized that what was the factor that was holding, it's not their mindset, but their education about these tools and technology. Nobody had told them what it is, and we were just forcing on them that, hey, we got this object, use it, and they have no clue what it is and what it will do. So that was the biggest barrier that I faced, and even on the upper management side as well. Like when I first started, they just wanted a BIM department because everybody was talking about it. It was a thing that they wanted to do check mark on a contract. So they said that, okay, hire a BIM guy and let's put the check mark on this contract and we're done with it. So for me, I was a check mark at the beginning, but down the road, I started educating them that this is more of an evolution. We can use this to help us internally rather than for putting it out on external contract paper, and it happens with that education, spreading knowledge and awareness. It took me time, guys, it was not easy. It took me almost like 5 years to break through that barrier within my own company and started going exploding exponentially on that side. So I would say, if you guys are facing that barrier of implementing it, and whoever is giving you the hard time, start understanding first where they come from and then start educating them on what these tools and things will do. And if they are proactive, if that company knows how to be ahead on their game, they will listen to you and they will adapt on it. I promise you, like it happens. I break through some of the toughest guy and now they are a huge fan of me and I love them to the death, but they were very hard to crack. But now they know exactly what I do and why I do it, So I hope, Ujjwal, I kind of answered that question where implementation is hard.
Yeah. And typically, even stopped calling a 3D model rather than, I would say, it is an information model, because 3D model also brings big questions around it.
Yeah.
So I started calling it just an information model rather than a 3D model. To ease out the concepts of the understanding.
Yeah, and whatever way it is, you can simplify these concepts to understand. I think that's the way to go. BIM is just a fancy term. I feel like BIM is more a data that we're collecting together and putting it so that we can serve it better to the field. So we just happen to call it building information modeling. It could be something else, but all we're doing at the end is like simplifying the processes, simplifying all their problems, and then serving a solution. So we're more a solution specialist, you can call us rather, than a BIM guy.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that insight and that question, Ujjwal. I appreciate it. So again, guys, we're on the end of our today's call. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, full packed of value, and I would love to have you guys again tuning in next Thursday. I would be live on the same time. Please start sharing this to other people as well. I want to start getting these word out to as many people as possible, because I want to have us together as a community. I want to have all of you guys supporting this venture where somebody new coming in BIM or anybody who wants to learn about it, we have a platform, we have people who supports each other. Within BIM industry, we are very few within AC industry, and I want to have those few come together and build a mass. So please again share with it. And I've noticed a lot of you guys are not connected with me on LinkedIn. Please connect, send me a connect, and I would love to join with you guys, because I share a lot of other insights apart from these weekly calls. I do publish my newsletter as well. My own company, our client, has a newsletter that goes weekly that share a lot of good information. So please send a connect, follow us on my company page as well, and I would love to see you next Thursday. Thank you again. Good night. See you next time. This is our alright, so that was today's BIMly Thursday, and what a huge surprise. We got Grady on the call. Grady and we worked for a long time, and we've been seeing each other's journey, growing through it, and there were a couple great questions as well, throwing it in here. So great again, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and this video will go live on YouTube, and I'll be sharing some clips on my LinkedIn. Like I said, please join me on next Thursday call. Send me your questions ahead of the time so that I can prepare those answers carefully and give you guys the right answers or the guidance that needed. Thank you for your love and support. See you guys next time.